Jeremy Blackowicz, Senior Counsel with Pitney. I've been practicing law for over 18 years now. I'm here to talk to you about trademarks, which is where I specialize most of my practice in. I do have a background in litigation and enforcement, but really focus my energies on holistic portfolio management, helping businesses identify their intellectual property, protect that intellectual property, and learn how to monetize it.
Hi, Philip Pacelli, over at Pitney in the Trademark Copyright Advertising Group. I'm an associate going on my second year now. I specialize in trademark prosecution, clearance work, trademark enforcement work. I look at also copyright enforcement matters, copyright filings, and I come to this position with a background working in the music industry. So I'm here today to kind of talk about kind of answering the questions that people have during this time right now, and what our practice can do to kind of fill in those gaps. That's a very good question, and that's a question that our clients like to ask. It's a question that our family members are asking. It's a question that everybody worldwide is asking right now. And so the first thing to really think about is, as a business, staying helpful, staying relevant, and being there for your consumers, for your employees in your own company, for your family members, for everybody. And the way to kind of address those things is to kind of understand the industry that you're in, understand what your consumers are going through. Very likely they're going to be going similar to what you're going through right now, and looking for ways to fill in those needs through timely communication and really being there in your messaging to your clients. So something that I've seen in the music industry is, right now there's a need for people hearing music, still hearing music, feeling good, and trying to be happier during times like these. But then also to, what do I do with this coronavirus? What are preventative measures I can take? What is this thing? What should I be doing to kind of, give back and make others kind of feel better about what's going on and how to deal with such an unusual and difficult situation. And so what artists are doing is they're looking for these other opportunities to get their music out there, going on to a bunch of different streaming platforms, and they're putting on these concerts in their living room to kind of show people, hey, I'm going through this with you as well. And they're putting out these messages on here's what the coronavirus is, here are ways that we can treat it, here are ways we can give to these charities and hospitals and everyone else that is going through this right now. And by the way, the proceeds that are for this concert, they are all going to coronavirus and people that are going through it, and people that are really struggling with this.
Once you understand what your business needs, your supplier and vendor needs are, your employee needs are, your family needs are, you can turn your attention back to what we do with the IP and the trademarks. And I think it's good to remember that first and foremost, trademarks are a source indicator. They hold the goodwill, the public consciousness and understanding of what your business is. So in an unprecedented time like this, consumers are going to be looking at businesses and looking at their marks to sort of connect the goodwill and the company's actions in the current situation. So I think it's important to be mindful of what your messaging is, understanding what everyone's unique challenges may be at the moment, and making sure that your email blasts and your communications align with that. Similarly, I think businesses should remind consumers that we are all part of the same community. I think if anything, the COVID-19 pandemic has restored a bit of humanity to business, and consumers are looking for that, and they're reacting to it very strongly. I think all of us worry about, the small businesses down the street who may have had to close temporarily, and have heard stories of friends and family that may face similar challenges. So I think part of your messaging is connecting back with consumers and letting them know that you're part of the same community, you are sharing their concerns and their troubles, and that you want to use your business and your brands to help everyone through this. I think during this current period, we have to operate with the knowledge that the entire system doesn't stop. IP doesn't stop, bad faith infringers don't stop, people who are trying to take advantage of businesses, of brands, of people, they're not stopping, they're ramping up. So first and foremost, you need to be vigilant. Many companies are having to keep an extra set of eyes out for scams and opportunistic people that are seeking monies or using brands under false pretenses, fake charity sites and whatnot. So you need to be mindful of that. And I think then you need to look at an understanding, where is your consumer base going to go after this? What will the business look like when we all reemerge? And in the interim, what are the things you can be doing? If you have manufacturing capabilities, are you able to transition to create personal protective equipment or masks or some other essential or beneficial item? That's a great way to keep your brand goodwill in the forefront and let consumers know that you're a business with values, that you're a business with a mission to empower and help the communities. And I think that's one way in which you can try to anticipate what may be next, but taking advantage of what you do have available and how to make best use of it in the current situation.
Sure. So this really goes along with um, staying relevant, staying helpful to your consumers, being mindful of what's going on right now. And one of those things is what are people asking for? Maybe in the case of the music industry, people want to see more music. They want more messaging about COVID-19 and how to handle it and information on that. And so in terms of what to look for in terms of opportunities, it's, well, how can I make my platform more accessible to everyone? What different technologies can I leverage to get my music out there to people so that it's in front of them, it's there to kind of comfort them during this time, and it's also serving a purpose. It's being helpful for them. If there's information about COVID-19 and kind of the material you're transmitting, you're kind of just doing it all at once. And so that is a way to kind of think of it as another opportunity that you're seeing for your client. In terms of branding efforts, there might be some collaborations in place with companies that kind of put coronavirus information and treatment and prevention thereof out in the forefront. And if your goodwill and what your client's company does aligns with those needs and those interests, then it is something to kind of bring up to the client and say, look, this, the opportunity kind of calls for this kind of action right now. There's nothing wrong with doing this kind of collaboration. Does it make sense for kind of what your consumers are looking for from you? And to jump on those opportunities accordingly. So in terms of the flip side in how to keep business moving, anticipating future needs of the client, these opportunities to comfort people and inform them about the coronavirus certainly can be in the shape of, okay, how can I attach to this? How can I continue to be present for my for the consumers, knowing that I'm there? And looping into the coronavirus issues and how to deal with it, how to be relevant for everything, what's on everyone's mind right now.